Okay, guys, so I just had my, I guess, quote unquote, face to face interview with a hospital for a psych nurse position. Honey, y'all already knew I was interested in psych nursing, so they contacted me back. I did I think it was like 3 steps to this. That was the last step, was the actual interview with all 3 hospital locations, managers from each location. So it was 3 of them, 1 of me. I just had that. If you hear the noise, that is my laptop. I need a new MacBook Pro, y'all. Like, if y'all hear it, I'm so sorry. It's so distracting because I'm doing something on it. So I apologize, okay? I apologize for this noise. But yeah, so I had my interview and it was like weird because it was kind of like a Zoom meeting, but I didn't go through Zoom. We went through like their whatever their thing was. So I clicked on it, and they sent you an email, tell you to click on the link or whatever. So you go, I get there and none of them had their cameras on. Like, all of their cameras was off. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to have my camera off? And they was like, oh, you can have it off. It's up to you. Whatever makes you comfortable. And I was like, oh, okay, that was weird because I thought it was like a face-to-face thing. But then at that point, I was like, okay, it's going to be awkward if I just turn my camera off, considering the fact that they already seen me. So I just left it on for the whole interview. I honestly didn't know what to do. I was just like, oh, this is awkward. And I answered the questions great. I feel like I answered the questions great. But I couldn't see their reaction. So it made it difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't read them because you don't know what they're doing. They had their microphones off, their camera off. So the only time they turned their microphone on, which was like one lady, the only one really, they introduced themselves. They were nice. But the only one lady was really asking me the questions. They asked me like 5 questions. So, or 6, I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you the questions. But they asked me about 5 or 6 questions. And of course they said, do you have any questions for us? So I did have a question for them. And then they was like, okay, well, we have interviews, all week. And at the end of the week, you should hear some back from the recruiter, basically, or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you. Nice meeting you, ladies, things like that. And that was kind of the end of the interview. So the things that they asked me were, tell me about yourself. They also asked, what made you choose psych nursing? Then they asked, then there was a bunch, like a couple of those scenario questions. So tell me about a time a customer or patient was satisfied. Tell me about a time you made a mistake, and when you realized the mistake, what did you do? I feel like there was another one. No, I can't remember the second one. I can't remember the third one, but it was along those lines of that. So, and then they asked me what shift I was interested in working and what location did I want to work at out of the 3. I just told them I'd rather stay close to my residency, so, my home. So I let them know the 2 locations. One of them I did my one of them I did clinicals at last semester. So I told them I knew that one, but the other one, it was closer to my house, but I've never been to that one. But I'm not opposed to going to that one. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, my skin look horrible. I'm sitting at the kitchen. I'm sitting in a different spot in the kitchen, y'all. So it looks weird because we had our ATI review day 1 today with the review lady from ATI that comes to go over this beautiful pink book that I told you guys about. So I was trying to sit in a spot, they couldn't see all my house and be all in my business. But anyways, like I'm not on YouTube. Okay, but so they asked the questions and I felt it was okay. And then like after the question, I'm like, oh, I hope that answered your question, because they wasn't really giving feedback. So the lady was like, oh yeah, you answered it perfectly, thank you. Like, she was sitting for like all the questions, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm probably totally bombing this interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are not saying much, and I cannot see their faces. I'm just just guesstimating. And I try not to do that, you know, try to have my own scenarios in my head. So I was like, okay, it is what it is. So at the end, you know, we hung up, said bye, and I called my husband. I'm like, yeah, that was kind of awkward. My answers and stuff probably wasn't awkward because I'm really excited about psych nursing. But I was just like, the fact that I was the only one with my camera on, no one had the camera on. It was just looking at the silhouette of a person. If you ever been on Zoom or something and they turn their cameras off, you might see their name or something like that. So I was like, it was just awkward in that sense. Even though she said I could turn my camera off, I felt at that point it would have been weird because they already seen me. So I might as well just leave it on. So I just left it on. So I was like, yeah, I probably didn't get it. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. I might have got it, might not have got it. I was like, it was kind of weird, but they just said I will be contacted, you know, after this week, basically at the end of the week. So I was just like, okay. So I went back to my ATI little thing, which was like 8 hours long, mind you. So I just went back to that, started doing that, and then I had got an email from the hospital, and I was like, oh, okay, what did the email say? And it started off like, oh, thank you, we appreciate you taking the time out for the interview. And I was like, oh, great, you're welcome. Like, it is what it is. But no, so I'm glad I kept reading because I kept reading. It was like, they have picked you as a top candidate for this position. They, you know, you have to complete this step of going to the hospital website thing, you know, the portals where you apply for jobs and stuff. So I went to the portal and they was asking for my social or something, I guess, to do a background check. I'm not exactly sure, but they explained it in the email. So I went on there. And at the same time, I had received one from the recruiter that I had been talking to with the hospital for that department. And she sent me the email like, hey, you know, we need you to go do this real quick. It only take like 1 or 2 seconds for you to put this information in. And so I was like, oh, I did great. Like, that's wonderful. So I talked to my husband. I'm like, I'm assuming since that was the last interview step that I got the position, because while else would they say I was a top candidate and that they wanted me to go do this other step online. Like, I was excited. I'm happy about that. Like, that's great. Now, I did have another hospital that was interested, like that I was interested in, and they called me. But the positions I wanted, they really didn't have. And then she was like, oh, we might have a neuro ICU position available at this hospital, like I've never been to, but I know where it's at. So I was like, oh, okay, I was interested in that. They took a while to get back to me. Like, I had already did the second part of the interview with the psych nursing and everything. And I just knew at that point, like, oh, I want to do psych, which I was already interested in psych, but I was interested in ICU too. But so the lady called me like out of the blue. I missed her call and I called her back and she missed my call, and we kind of was playing phone tag, like leaving each other messages, because like I would miss her call, she would miss my call. And so after that psych face-to-face interview, I was like, oh, I don't know how that went. I couldn't see nobody's face. So I called the lady for the ICU to try to get back in touch with her. She didn't answer. I left a voicemail. And then I got the email saying I was a top candidate, that they liked me and all that stuff. And I was like, wow, like, okay. Like, I was excited. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this short vlog. But, you know, if you got any questions for me, go ahead and put them down below. And, you know, like always, subscribe, comment, share, give this video a big thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.